Welcome back into the Playmakers. I'm joined now by Taryn Tempel. Nick and Lydia have more important things to do at this very moment, so we thought we'd try a little track talk.
Yes.
So, the Kansas Relays happened this weekend. You were in them.
Yes, it was a very exciting weekend. There was a lot of personal bests, a lot to look forward to for this upcoming weekend. So, to start off, we had Mitch Cooper broke a 46-year-old record, Kansas record, and so that was pretty exciting. He went over 200 feet, and so he kind of started things off for everyone in the field events, and there was a lot of other PRs in the field events. We had Dasha Seema, who threw the discus 54 meters, so there was a lot of good things going on the track, and I think that the team really feels good going into this next weekend. We have a pretty big meet coming up, so I think everyone feels really fresh and ready to go.
Well, there is one athlete who we don't know if she's going to be fresh. Sharon Loketti was running the 4x400 at the end of Saturday, and she had a huge lead on the second place runner. And it looked like as she was coming up on her second to last lap, she really started, she looked injured. I don't know what the injury was, but she pulled up really slow. What do you know about her?
Well, I've seen her working out this week, so I'm assuming that she's going to be back running in. There's a lot of tension during this time of the year because your bodies take so much beating. So a lot of people during this time of the year start to kind of have some injuries and some things kind of go wrong, and it's just about pushing through and then hopefully have a little bit of time to recover before Big 12s.
On the men's side, Evan Landis ran away with his race. He was dominant for the whole thing. What was he able to do in his race that allowed him to have such a big win?
I think our distance team has to have a really good mental toughness. I think that when you watch the distance team practice, you think they're kind of crazy because they're just running and running and running. And so it definitely helps that they have that mindset to kind of be able to push through that lull. And especially being on your home track, I think that definitely helps to have your home crowd pushing you through. I know it definitely helps in the jump, so I'm sure that was also a factor.
Also in the relays, there was Kyle Clemens, the world champion. There was Michael Stigler, the hurdler who is vying for an Olympic bid in this year. And then there was Strymon Livingston, and they all dominated, as one might imagine they did.
Yes, it's really exciting to see kind of former KU athletes. A lot of people don't know at these meets that it's not just the KU athletes that some professionals will be competing in. So it's good not only for the KU athletes, but it's good for the pros to kind of get ready, especially with the Olympics coming up. So it's exciting for the home crowd to get to see former KU athletes, and it also pushes the current KU athletes to kind of see what it takes to be the best.
So moving forward into the Jayhawk Classic next week, we have a few storylines. The first, like I mentioned, Sharon Loketti is recovering from her apparent injury, and you talked about that a little bit. Do you think she'll be able to come back and do Sharon Loketti things and dominate in the distance?
I feel confident that she'll be back. I don't know necessarily if she will be back in full this meet, but luckily for her, she has a couple weeks to kind of get back under her feet before Big 12. So I think that she will be just fine and that she just needs a little bit of rest.
Next, we have the men's 4x800 meter. They had one of the fastest times in program history. That was Brandon Bernal, Bryce Richards, Adel Eunice, and Daniel Hoke in the 4x800s, and they just ran out of their minds. And finally, Trey Daniels, he competed last week in the Kansas Relays. He's coming back from an injury in the fall and ran really well. What do you know about Trey Daniels?
Trey Daniels is a really good runner, very much a leader for the team, even though he's younger. And so he's got a lot of fire in him, and he's a pretty tough guy. So he'll be a great asset to the relays and also to the individual events. And so definitely the relays will be something to look out for in this meet. They're continuously getting better, and all the individual athletes really push each other. And it's kind of cool because track is such an individual sport, but you don't realize how much teamwork really goes on, especially in a relay, but definitely in the field events too. We cheer for each other, and I think that definitely helps out your teammates to help them succeed.
So next we have some athletes to watch. KU has a lot of really good athletes, like we've been saying. First of all, Strymon. Strymon Livingston dominated in the Kansas relays, like we said. He's a 7-time All-American national champion in the 800 meters at Iowa Western. So he's amazing to watch. He's super fast. Next we have Mitch Cooper, and you talked about him earlier. He had another historic performance on last weekend with his discus throw. And finally we have Zainab Sani, Nicole Montgomery, Adams, and Adriana Newell, Whitney Adams, excuse me, and they are the women's 4x400 relay team. They won during the Kansas relays. What are they looking to add at the Jayhawk Classic?
It's definitely going to be a good weekend for them. There's going to be some good competition. We have Big 12, Oklahoma State, K-State. So it'll be good to get a taste of some other conference teams. And so I think they're excited for that. And also in the field events, we have Curtis Ray, which he wasn't really talked about so much after the meet, but he won long jump with 24 feet. Kelly McKee, a triple jumper, my fellow teammate, she jumped over 40 feet for the first time. So everyone's continuously getting better in all areas of the team. And I think it's going to be a really exciting weekend and will give a lot of confidence going into conference.
That's awesome to hear. So it's the end of the year, and I feel like I can't catch my breath because there are so many things going on right now. When we come back, we'll have golf, softball, soccer, and rowing. Thank you, Taryn, for joining us. Stick with us.